days I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
well, here we are. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is season 19 of Married at First Sight. And we are here. Kimberly Reviews and I are back to talk about it in Austin, Texas. And we're talking about this reunion. Kimberly, how are you today?
I am doing well. How about you?
I am well. Uh,
Good.
okay. Yes, yes, indeed. I was just checking messages. Okay. Yes. And how is the weather in down there where you are? Hey there, Miss
It,
Wilson.
it was warm today, about 70 degrees in North Carolina. So that's nice. That's one thing I like about it here. We get all the seasons and it might be in the same day.
You sound like JR Sunday when he was talking about we were doing Ready to Love. He was saying something very similar. Very
Oh,
similar. Now, what did you think about this reunion? Were you shocked that all of these five couples all ended up broken up and getting a divorce?
no, I was very proud that they didn't want to drag this out any longer because after the last episode or decision day, they all said yes. And I just knew that was fake. So I was pleased. It was kind of bittersweet though, sad that they couldn't work it out, but also happy that they stayed true to themselves because none of the couples really should have gave a yes other than just wanting to try and work it out. But it was clear that these couples would not be together 50 years down the road.
You say 50, not even five. We didn't even get five, even 5 months out of them. I
Right.
think only one couple went the distance almost and made it almost a year and a half, and that's this happy couple or formerly happy couple right here. What did you guys think about that Jalen decided to go ahead and go to the Burning Man Festival, not for one day, not for 2 days, 3 days, a weekend. She went for 10 days. I didn't even know they had a festival for 10 days. What, like what?
Right. Same here. No clue, but we learned a lot about it.
And she had her butt cheeks out. She said I had my butt cheeks out, and her girl Brittany uh agreed with her and said, yeah, and you was looking good too. That ours was looking nice. Said, okay, now y'all. What
Right.
we doing here? What we doing here? Um, she got around. She went to 5 raves. She was adventurous. Oh, what did she do? She got on top of a shark or something. She was down
Mm-hmm.
there swimming with the
Yes.
shark. I'm like,
Yeah.
and he said he actually had the nerve to say that she's only a 2 to his 10 of adventurousness. What do you think about that? You
I
know,
can agree. I can see it because he is so adventurous and thinks highly of himself at a level 10. I could see where he could see that she is like 0 to 2, whatever, because that's how I feel about travel. When I meet people and they say, oh, I like to travel. And I'm like, well, where have you been? And they're like, oh, I haven't been anywhere this year or in a few months. And I'm like, well, you don't like to travel. That I'm thinking like,
ooh,
yeah, because if you like to do something, you need to make a habit of doing it in my mind. So that's what I'm thinking Josh is comparing to. Yeah, I get that a lot.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. But then my thing is with Josh, he says he wants to find and build a community. For him, this Burning Man thing was
Mm-hmm.
his community. I wonder sometimes if Josh really understands the true definition of words like community and family
Mm-hmm.
and loyalty and commitment. Something she said that kind of resonated with me when she said, Josh just likes to have these highs, and then he's always searching for the next high and the next new shiny new object. What did you think about that?
I agree. I'm still surprised we never heard anything else about the prenup, but part of me wants to think that it's because he planned to leave her, and so he wasn't concerned about it anymore. But also, when I looked up that Burning Man festival, it said it was all about community. So I'm like, what is he there for if it's not about building community? Because that was, I think, the first three words that describe Burning Man Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with Jalen. He's just chasing the thrills.
Mm-mm-mm. Chasing them thrills. Chasing them
Mhm.
thrills. Mr. Thick Hip. Mr.
Ah!
Mr. Thick Thighs. My girl Janice had me rolling talking about him. It take Janice to talk about them
Right.
thick thighs and that
Yeah.
big old booty. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, Miss Wilson, I agree. I think both of them are very, very,
Mhm.
very, 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 very. I think the ladies dodged a bullet with those two. They really did. I felt like. What did you think about? What did you think about Jalen? I mean, do you feel like there's something that she could have did more of? She been so submissive and so, walking on eggshells with Josh, or what do you think?
I think in the real world, no, but in this process, because it is so quick and you do have the experts there and whatever to kind of help and be like a second opinion, you even have the other members of the cast. I think it is okay for her to do that because then if she didn't, she probably would question herself and say, what if I would have went all in? But Jalen made a
Yeah,
great point saying she felt like Josh was just saying yes, yes, yes to everything and wasn't being true to himself. And I feel the same way about her because they both kind of did too much too soon. I said that early on that they were doing too much too soon. And
like,
it was like 1 month and they were what jumping out of the airplanes. It's like
oh,
what
okay, I
what
was
do
gonna
you have
say,
left?
right. I was gonna say, well, give me an example, but yeah, like jumping out the airplane. You're right. You're right. If you do too much too fast,
It gets
and just
boring.
it gets boring. Yeah, and get to know each other. Like I think
Exactly.
the relationship is nice to make memories that you guys are going to remember, that you did these things together, but
Hmm.
how about getting to know each other? Because that was the whole
Hmm.
thing. If you marry a stranger, do you want to stay married to a stranger, or do you want to little by little, day by day, get to know that person in a more deep, connected way? Like that's what I'm
Right.
wondering. I
Yeah.
don't really understand the
Hmm.
premise. Do you feel like we knew why why they broke up? Like, I mean, I guess he told her coming back, or while they were on vacation, that this is not going to work for him, and then she tried to plead with him, and then they ended up breaking up at home. Yeah, she did.
Um,
Hmm.
true. Yep,
And
Mona Wilson is right.
yeah, I think she did. Go, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kimberly, you were
Yeah,
gonna
I
say.
feel two things. The adventure level being low, he was hoping he could persuade her to be more into it because she really did seem like she was tired and just did it for him. It wasn't something that she wants to do for herself. And like she
Mhm.
said, she would go back, of course, which is the right thing to say. You can't say, "Oh, I'm never going back to that." That's not going to work with your partner. And
Okay.
I think he found somebody else. I think, or he had somebody else maybe all along. So I
Mm,
think between those two things was just the icing on the cake, and he was just ready to go because it was so weird how she said he just canceled it all of a sudden, just ended the
yeah,
relationship so
right.
randomly.
Yeah, we don't know who this girl was that she asked him, how did they know each other? And then he corrected her and
Hmm.
said, well, you said that, did I, F her? Did I F her? So we don't know who that girl was. We
Hmm.
didn't get a, we didn't get a whole lot of explanation on that either.
Nope.
I don't know what was going on with these two, but it seems like, to Miss Wilson's point too, that Josh is a liar, because, and I say this because why did he say that Burning Man was not something that he just had to do with her? He said he would give it up. Oh, hey there, Tuber Chat. Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks a lot for sharing it on Reddit. Appreciate that. What do you feel like the reason was, you know, that he said all these things. He said, well, she didn't have to go. They could still build community together. But then in the end of the day, every reason he gave for why he broke up with her was really all the stuff that he had lied about earlier on.
Exactly. I just think sometimes I wonder if someone else get in their head. It's confusing the way they go from night and day, kind of like when Will left Brittany. I felt like they were on the same page, and then he said, called her and said no. So I think either someone else gets in their head, or when they get along, they really think about how they truly feel and just admit this is not going to work. I think
Okay.
that's what happens. Maybe they come to their senses when they're alone, because
Yeah.
when they're together and talking and, doing these activities, it seems that everything is going well for the most part, just outside of the communication issues that I think all the couples struggled with, which
Yeah,
is
they
common.
did.
But it's just like night and day with these people.
Yes, it is. Well, speaking of night and day, you have Mama Bear, of course, Belinda, who was also, on the show, as well as her daughter that we just talked about. What did you think about Belinda and Chad?
Mm, mm. I'm glad they showed the clip of Chad at the party where he had another outburst, because I knew it wasn't just one. I knew there were multiple outbursts with him, and everybody just loved them some Chad. So he
Yes,
just turned
myself
out.
included. Don't be trying to rub salt in the wound, because Chad had me backing up a little bit on what I said last week about him and defending him. Yeah, Chad's gotta grow up. Chad's gotta
Mhm.
learn how. And I believe I still say this. I still ride with Chad in this whole situation. If it's between Belinda and Chad, I'm on Chad's team, because a lot of things started from the beginning. But then, I got to give credit and fault where I think it's due. I think with Chad, he never did really speak up about that dog in the bed, and that was something that,
Mhm.
as this at this reunion, it became very clear, because she even said, "Well, I'm not much of an initiator as it relates to intimacy, but there were some nights and some times when I offered to kick the dog out the bed. But Belinda, why is the dog even in the bed? You say that
Mm.
you want to be married, you want to spend time in the bed with your husband, with your partner. Why was the dog ever in the bed? Once you
Right.
got married and you're no longer single, you now have to readjust your life, and that includes your
Mhm.
bedroom habits. With that dog being in the bed, the dog could have been in the living room on its own bed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not being considerate of your partner. Chad made it clear that he was not a big fan of the dog being in the bed. So that would have been my sign to just remove the dog altogether. Don't even play with fire. Just go ahead and remove it. He mentioned it a few times on camera, so I'm sure he
He
mentioned it off
did.
camera too.
I believe he
Yeah.
did. He mentioned it. Well, we saw him mention it the first time when they got back from the honeymoon, and she said
Mm-hmm.
about her, I think she mentioned something, and it was like she was kind of joking, but it's things that people say they're joking, but they're really actually dead serious, but they kind of put a little chuckle behind it, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
the dog's gonna be up in the bed with us," and he was like, "I think not," or something along those natures, which would, to me, a reasonable person would have assumed that that's not something he's comfortable with. Why didn't they talk about that more? Why didn't
Yeah,
she
we
do
do.
something about it? Hey there, Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
Why not do something about that? Because I think that's awfully terrible for somebody who, and apparently he had his own dog and his own cat, but he didn't allow his dog to sleep up in the bed with him. So that's something that, like you said, these couples all struggle with communication all season long. And this was a thing with people that had the pets. Even going to Derek and Megan, again, dog in the bed, dog in the bedroom, all this kind of stuff, and nobody's really addressing it.
Right.
So I don't know. I think Chad, like you said, though, he did cut up. I felt like his whole thing about being the alpha, I agreed with him when he said that he wasn't going to be with somebody who prioritized their pet or their dog above him, because I did feel like Belinda did prioritize Lovey above her husband. And I didn't think
Yes.
that was fair. I didn't think that was fair. But on the other hand, I did not like you said, as you pointed out, these outbursts, and especially the last one, where he basically said "f y'all" and some
Mm.
other things, that some other choice words that he had. I felt like that was beneath Chad. I felt like Chad is old enough and mature enough, and he says he's worked in managerial positions of leadership. He should have had the vocabulary to address his frustration without dropping the f bombs, without just I don't know. It's like he went overboard with
Mhm.
all of that. You know?
Yeah, and that wasn't the first time he said "f y'all." That he said that previously while filming too. That was a bit
Mm.
much for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she
It
said
was
he drinks every night. She has to come down and take the bottle out his hand. I'm like, no, that's a lot. Go seek help.
right, right. And then yes, Mona has an excellent point because I said now I have looked up this before in previous seasons, so I didn't even go ahead and relook it up. But there's a way to introduce any pets, two pets that are going to be moving in together or even spending time together. And one of the things is you cannot introduce the pets on either of like his or her in their own private territory, which would be the homes of these two individuals, right? You got to go to a
Mhm.
park, or you got to go somewhere that is neutral, that doesn't have their sense. You see what I'm saying? That
Yes.
has to be done gradually. And cats are particularly finicky. I felt for Chad though when he said that cat tore into his chest. If anybody that has
Oh,
ever had a cat scratch you,
yes.
it is extremely painful. And I felt like Belinda, she basically minimized it, said, "Well, oh, he might have got hurt a little bit." Belinda, have you ever been scratched by a cat? That that's
Mhm.
that's not a little thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was the alpha in the house, right? And that thing, I thought, well, Chad's real old school. He's even older school. They saying he's 54. He's giving off 64-year-old vibes, like in terms of what he's saying. And, this whole traditionalism, it doesn't allow for her to be in the marriage. What did you think? Say again about what you thought about his drinking, though.
Oh no, that's a red flag to me. On top of the anger issues and then just the humor all the time, not able to be serious, it's like he goes from one extreme to the next. And for Belinda to say that she's woke up in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., and Chad is sleeping on the couch with a bottle in his hand or drinking his alcohol, and she has to take it out of his hand, that's
Hmm.
crazy for someone of his age. That's what you do at like a party. I don't know when when you would do that, but
Yeah,
to be
that.
at home multiple nights a week and you're falling asleep on the couch while drinking, that's
Yeah,
not healthy and not
that was
somebody I would want to be with.
that didn't sound, none of that sounded good. But now, how
Mm-mm.
much of that can we blame? Okay, so he drinks. Um, Now our girl Janice Hilton talks about this. People should be able to wind down. She believes, and I think I agree with her to a large extent. I think as we get older, see, here's the thing: how you sleep and what gets you to sleep can vary from person to person. Now, I'm not saying he
Mhm.
should drink himself till he passes out, but I think I don't know for sure if I believe that Belinda exaggerated how much he was drinking. He might drink a lot for her. She may be a one glass wine lady, like a lot of ladies are. He may be a two glass of whiskey guy, which for him being bigger size and all like that, he can handle that. So I'm not sure if Chad is an alcoholic. I think he does have a precarious position and perspective with his alcohol. I will say that. I wish Chad would get help because Chad
Yeah.
said he came to this show because it was his last hope. He wasn't
Mm.
seeming to get anywhere, but yet he's been married three other times.
Let's say divorced 4 times.
Yeah, divorced four times. But I still like Chad.
Mm-mm,
I
y'all can
still
have him.
I know, really, I do. I see now that there was more problematic than I did give Belinda credit for. But I felt like Belinda didn't help. Do you feel like at any point when we watched this season that Belinda was empathetic to him after the honeymoon? I don't see it because one, she wouldn't get the dog out the bed when he mentioned it two, three times. He wouldn't get the dog out the bed. Okay, let's go here. What about the lie? she says that he told an untruth, but looking back at it, we see that maybe there was wedges being put there because her daughter and her son-in-law did not last.
They did last longer than anybody else, though. What, a year and a half after filming? And I feel that Chad lied about that because Josh said it was text messages, and then Chad agreed that it was text messages. So if there were text messages, why did Chad not show Belinda immediately when he was accused of lying? That's the first thing you do. Here are the texts that I had with your
Yeah,
son, well, your
here's the
son-in-law, but
yeah,
Chad didn't do that. And then when Kelvin
okay.
asked, "Oh, do you remember what the text?" Oh, I don't remember what the text said now. You're right, because you
Yeah.
lied. You lied.
Don't think so.
I
We're gonna
know.
disagree on this. We're gonna agree. Boo, boo, boo. We're gonna disagree on this one because I don't believe brother Chad. Chad may be verbose, he may be rude, he may be frustrated and doesn't know how to deal with his frustration verbally. But I don't believe Chad would lie because let's look at this. If he's gonna lie about that, why wasn't he lying about more stuff like Josh? We got caught Josh in 3 different lies. Josh on the post nup, Josh on he's gonna stop talking to his ex and he never did. He was gonna unfriend her. Josh on all the stuff that he said that she didn't have to come to Burning Man, but then he turned around and said, "Well, yeah, she got to come, or else we're not gonna work." Like so, why would
Right.
Chad just get caught in one lie, just one?
Hmm. No, I think the whole thing was a lie because he often said that he said something about not being like so aggressive. He tried to downplay it. And then he tried to make it seem like he wasn't so aggressive towards the producers. And we clearly saw that he was the wrong in all those situations. So in my opinion, those could be seen as lies too. Because he's
Mm,
trying to downplay his abusive and negative behavior. That's abusive, if y'all. That's abuse.
yeah, yeah, that is
He's
verbally.
abusive. Yeah, and
I
then
have to say
alcoholics, to
that's
me, he's
really.
an alcoholic. I'm sorry.
Damn.
But that's coming from somebody that don't drink.
Allegedly, Chad, allegedly.
Yes, allegedly.
Yeah, but well, yeah, I think there is something going on. Like I said, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna go to the
Hmm.
extreme, in my opinion, to say alcoholic, but I think he probably does have, like I said, a precarious relationship with drinking. Chad
Hmm.
needs therapy. Chad needs therapy.
Yes,
I don't know, him being a vet, he should know that are
exactly.
there are so many options in every state in this country, every city, every Texas is a big city, a major city. There's help, whether he wants to get it through the VA or whether he wants to pay his own, use his own insurance and get it privately or whatever. There's help for PTSD and all of these various things. There really is.
Yeah. But he
Um,
doesn't think he has a problem. That's the problem.
I think that could be. I think he's got a lot of pride and stubbornness, and I felt like
Exactly.
that was true of both of them. He and Belinda. I think
Yeah.
they both got a
Yeah.
lot of pride and stubbornness.
Yep.
Um, this this shot right here, I said, now not only does he need to work on that drinking, he need to get rid of that beer belly too, because he looks like a beach whale right here. That's like terrible. Bless his heart. Okay, I'm not body shaming. I'm sorry, Chad, just allegedly,
He
but
did do
yeah.
good though. He lost some weight, it looks like.
It looks like he did. It looks like he did lose some weight. This is obviously, I think, right after the decision day. So, on the show, on the reunion, it did look like he had slimmed down. So, um, now moving forward, what did you think about our girl, Brittany and Will? We found out that they didn't make it. Like what? Who didn't
Will,
see
will, will.
who didn't see that coming though?
Right.
And
And
speaking of,
once again,
mhm,
everybody jumped on Brittany. But in my opinion, Will was more of the issue than Brittany. I'm glad that Brittany said she was open to therapy and she did go to therapy and, healed some from her issues. I thought she looked great in her dress and she
I
lost a
thought she
lot
was
of
beautiful.
weight.
She lost a lot of weight. Yes.
Yes. But Will was a mess. Just he couldn't really I feel like he couldn't communicate well his thoughts. It was like the thoughts may have come in his head perfectly, but he was too focused on using the biggest word in the moment instead of
Mhm.
just being open and honest with his wife. So I'm glad it didn't work with them because I wouldn't be married to Will either. But I
Mhm.
would hang out with Brittany.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, Brittany seems sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I said from the beginning he reminded me of Ikechi, and everybody said no, not Ikechi. He's a milder version of Ikechi though, because I think Will. It took me a while, and those of you out there, content creators, it took me a while, but I have to agree with you. I think Will played in our face all season long as it
Mm-hmm.
relates to
Yes.
Brittany. I don't think that he was ever planning to stay with her, and I'm not saying that he should have, because I think their personalities and their character is like oil and water. You know, she needs a lot of validation, she needs a lot
Mm-hmm.
of stroking, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like very he's very stoic. He doesn't
Yeah.
give a lot, like just naturally. I don't think it's like he does it to be mean, but I think he just naturally is an observer of life rather than a participant in life. He participates where he needs to, like at work, and then I think the rest of it is like Will may go through his whole life just observing women and never really truly loving women, you know. And I'm not trying to be
Mm.
funny. I'm just saying that's how I feel about him. If he doesn't, he could do with some therapy too. He could do with some
Oh,
therapy.
yes. And just learning how to, I guess, control his emotions and just letting go, because the meeting with Brittany's dad, he was rude to Brittany's dad. And it was like he belittled his dad, kind of like he wasn't on the same level. So he really didn't want to have the conversation with him. So he was, in my opinion, like just trying to be too stern with Brittany's dad. That was early on when they first got married.
Oh
And
yeah,
that was just a
well,
rude encounter to me.
oh, at the reception when they were talking, you're saying,
Yes,
Will?
yes.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't think that was very respectful of Will.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he was brought up, but I'm old school and I was brought up to respect my elders. And then the other
Exactly.
thing
Yep.
is, if you're ever meeting your partner's family, particularly specifically their parents, you're trying to make a good impression on them. And that
Mm-hmm.
everything he was saying, like, he got lost talking about um what was it he was talking about, like the whole Catholic Church and all this stuff, all of this theory. And it showed me that he doesn't have heart. It's like these people um that have all this education, but they know they have no spirituality. They have no belief in God,
Mm-hmm.
no religion, and that's fine. But for me, that tells me a lot about a person. What we did never ever see was Brittany discuss how she felt about God. Now I noticed at the reunion
Exactly.
she has a new tattoo. It appears where it says "chosen" on her collarbone,
Mm.
and I assume
Okay.
that I don't know, but I assume from hearing her father talk, I'm assuming she's chosen by Christ, and that's maybe an affirmation to her being a believer. That's my assumption, because I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that we never did really hear her talk to him about what his faith was, and
No.
if she was okay with him saying that he's agnostic or whatever. It just we never did really hear, because he says he
No.
didn't really believe in any of these things. So I thought that was really interesting. What we did see though is her begging him a lot. What
Mm-hmm.
did you think about? Did she appear to have learned anything? Because we see her in this clip right here, we see her basically blocking the door after he's told her that this is not going to work and that he's done.
Yeah. And once again it just showed him being stern, which I agree with what he said at this point, because you're right. Brittany was begging and she said something like, "Will you just tell me you love me?" Like, why would you ask anybody to do that? No, don't do that. Please do
Right.
not beg for to make anybody compliment you, affirm you. Don't do that. And then Will said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And that would have been all I needed right there. He would have got a no on decision day from me.
Right.
End of
Exactly.
story.
End of story. End of story. Um, do we feel like there was any type of counseling that they could have received that would have been better for them? Because we did see the experts talk to them during the season. Um, but I don't know if any of that really helped, because with Brittany, it just seemed like she had no relationship experience. I'm not so sure that Will really had any either, but I think Will is just comfortable using his looks, and he can get a woman and he can have a girlfriend and then he travels, and then I think he's used to things just kind of falling apart. I look at him as being one of those casual relationship guys. You know, they almost like wait for the woman to break up with them. They do just enough to get the goods,
Mm,
get the panties, okay? And then they get tired, and then they just let the relationship, they stop calling. You got a whole
yeah.
Tony Braxton thing of 7 whole days you ain't heard from him. And he's like, but I'm
Mm-mm.
traveling for those days. But really what it is he's just bouncing from woman to woman, just like Brittany, from what we found out at the beginning of this season. She's bouncing around from man to man, and that after dating a guy for 1 week, she thinks that's her boo thing.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
can see that from her behavior on the show because she was desperate for Will. She just really wanted that man. The way he um called her on video one day when he went away for work, and she just showered him with so many compliments, and he was not interested in returning them. It was so basic, and she just kept going on and on about how fine he is, and he was just like, okay. It was too many signs that he was not going to stay in this for the long haul unless Brittany wanted to be miserable. And I don't think any amount of counseling could have worked because they didn't want to do the work. Will did not change from day one. He was disrespectful to the father,
Yeah.
and he's disrespectful to call her and say, "I'm going to say no tomorrow." That was, you just could have waited. To me, there was no growth there.
Yeah, yeah. And the only time I was proud of Brittany, she said when they asked her did she have anything to say to Will, Kevin Frazier asked her that, and it was after basically Will had said some things about his feelings about it not working and da 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 da, and he had to be cruel and whatnot. And I was glad when she said no initially. She said, no, I don't have anything to say. Because I said, now the old Brittany would have been like, oh yeah, and she would have been begging and pleading like she did on decision day with him and crying, bringing up them little tears.
Yes.
But she said no.
Right.
She sat there with a stoic face, and I was proud of her because I'm like, at some point as
Mhm.
a woman, as a girl, as a woman growing into a woman, you have to learn how to take rejection.
Yes.
In the game of love, you're gonna win sometimes and you're gonna lose. And
Mhm.
this is not your person. You said all along. I think her intuition kept leading her, and the way he was treating her when the cameras weren't on. I think she knew all along this wasn't her person. Like she said, well, I'm not his person. But okay, but then if you're not his person, then that means he's not your person, right?
Right.
You can't have
Mhm.
it both ways. You can't be his person or he can be your person, but you're not his person. Nobody that's sane and rational wants an imbalanced relationship where you're doing 100% of the loving and he's only doing,
Mhm.
nothing. He's just there.
Mhm.
Yes, you can do better. Absolutely. I agree with you. And who was it? You guys were saying that Will is from Detroit. Yeah, I caught that. I'm like, wow, we got Ready to
Right.
Love in Detroit this season, and we got Will from Detroit this season. Yeah, go ahead and stay right there in Austin, okay? Just stay right there where you are in Austin. We don't need you back here.
Yeah.
We got enough guys to deal with the Ready to Love crew. Hey, Alicia. Her uncle and mom taught her nothing. Exactly. Exactly.
Mm.
Now, wait a minute. Who's her uncle? You said her uncle? I thought that was her dad that was at the wedding. Alicia, I thought that was her dad. But you're right though. Like, cause things that I'm so grateful. Like when you're growing up and your parents are talking to you, sometimes you can be 6 years old, 9 years old, 12 years old. They're telling you different things, and you don't know why in the heck are they telling me this. This sounds like it's something for my older self to know. But sometimes because we don't know when our parents are going to not be here for us, like I lost my father when I was only 19. A lot of things that my father taught me along the way when we would be sitting up watching boxing matches or football, watching sports, the guy stuff that he liked to do, but we would be together in the living room. A lot of things that he told me have stuck with me, and they're valuable lessons. Like never let a man tell you twice that he
Mm.
don't want you. If he tell you one time, be done with him.
And
Be
how many
done with
times did Will tell Brittany?
him. Yeah, exactly. He did. He told her so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't take them back. That's right.
Mm.
Um, And why didn't Will do Love is Blind Detroit? Oh, they taped that? I did not know that. Did you know that, Kimberly?
No, I don't keep up with those the Love Is Blind ones. No.
Oh, okay. That was the uncle. Oh, okay. I'm so lost. I did not know that was the uncle. And
Hmm.
Will was not ready for marriage or date. No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Hey, Sid. Hey there, girl. What's going on? Yeah, she was begging that man. Like, what is going on? Why is she blocking the door and begging him? I mean, Will must have really it's a word. I don't know if I can't use it here, but he must have really had her dematized. You guys know the word, right?
Yes, yes.
That private part must have been really thinging. It must have been doing his thing because she was just all in like blend. I'm like, Brittany, really now, girl, come on. But
But it was her norm, like you said. Oh,
no, no, go ahead. You were saying, go ahead.
it was her norm, like you said, though. She falls in love within a week. So with or without that bedroom action, this is her.
Yeah, yeah. I think that is, and she falls in real quick, and then
Hmm.
guys are quick to. Oh, before we move on to the next couple, though, I got to ask you, what did you think? What was your belief about her going back to his apartment? Because she said she only went the one time and left the note. Will, again, him being EKG, telling her that he did not read that letter. I don't think. I don't know. I know he was asked about it, but I don't know. See that all these things that he's doing and saying to her, she should have been so done with him. But what do you think? Do you
Yes.
think she was going back to the apartment, or was she spying on him? Was she stalking him? What was going on?
No, and she said it was more recent. I think she was really going to visit Jalen because they all seem to have a closer bond. According to them, they're all checking on each other and hanging out here and there. So I believe that she was just going there to hang out with him. Terrible timing or whatever because he lives there. But until they say they saw her on his floor, other than that, I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's a little odd. I think it's a little odd. And then here's another thing, guys. Do you guys know this? I know some of you in the chat are really into and follow the different bloggers. So were these guys? Is my assumption that Jalen and Will were still in the marital apartments that the show provided? Because why are they in the same building?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Does anybody know if they're in the same? And is that something that possibly could have been used as an incentive for all these people? Excuse me, for all these people to say yes on decision day, because I don't see, other than maybe Josh and Jalen, and of course Megan and Derek, because they were pregnant. I don't see a reason for the other three to even have said yes. What do
Good
what do
point.
you
Yeah,
think?
same here.
Yeah.
None of the five. I don't think any of them should have said yes. No. All no's across the board for me.
Mm. Now, Sid says I could visit Jalen at a bar, not where Will could even say that she was there for him. Okay, yeah, like
Good
not come
point.
by the apartment if you knew that that's his
Hmm.
apartment. Yeah, because obviously she did. She took the letter there. I just want to know if that's the same apartment that they were married in, because I think it was. I think they gave them an extra year or two on those apartments, those that needed it, that didn't have their own house, and I think some of them took them up on it. Jalen and Will, for example.
Hmm. Yeah, I
I don't
agree.
know. Because Jalen was living in the house with Josh for a while they were still together. Remember?
Right.
Let's
And
see.
he kicked her out. I was shocked that he just turned like that and kicked the girl out. I think she said it was late at night or something. That's terrible.
Mm. Oh yeah, Alicia says that Jalen didn't even co-sign Brittany's reason for being there at the apartment or how often. Yes, she sure didn't. She kept kind of quiet on that, or either it was edited out because they edit these things. Because there were some parts of. Oh, I got to go back. Okay, so going back to Chad and Belinda, was Chad cursing at Kevin Frazier when he said, or being rude to him when he said, I will answer the question if you will shut up? Was he talking to Kevin, or was he talking about back during when they filmed that? I don't.
No, he was
What
talking
did
to
you think?
Kevin. That's y'all's favorite. He was talking to Kevin. A
Mm,
mess. That's why I
and
said, even from the first outburst, you're on camera and you act like that while the camera is rolling, and you know the camera. It's not like you're at home on the couch and they're filming. The camera is in your face and you have an outburst like that. Yeah, there's deeper rooted issues and a lot that we didn't see. I wouldn't be surprised, yeah, if the police should have been called. I'm gonna just say that.
ooh, well,
Allegedly.
let can't believe you are so comical.
Listen,
You
because
are
to
so
do
comical.
all of that in public, that goes far. To do stuff like that in a public setting, a restaurant, around other people, around strangers, I don't know.
Elle said they could do it. They could do it for a year. Why not? They're giving them, they're paying them a stipend. Why not do that for ratings? This show is making, I'm sure, millions of dollars, much more than they're giving any of these cast members combined. Why not? And plus, they had a bigger budget because guess what? They got rid of Keisha Knight Pulliam for the after show. Now they got more money.
Mm.
Take her salary and split it between these 10 people.
And I wonder, is it the same budget though, since they're on Peacock now? I wondered, is that why they cut so much out?
Mm. Questions, inquiring minds
Right.
want to know. If any of you in the comments want to jump in and you know some answers about this, let us know, because I'm just thinking I'm gonna be glad when people get really really smart with these reality shows, the castmates and things, and get
Mm-hmm.
themselves a union, just like you got SAG after for actors. I think these people
Mm-hmm.
should have a union and standardized contracts to some degree, because we hear about these people not getting any food. They feed
Yes.
them, they serve them all this alcohol and liquor, but they don't want to feed them any actual food. They work
Mm-hmm.
them hours above a normal regular 8 hour, 9 hour, 10 hour work day. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to know. I want to really know. I'm trying to get some of these comments. Um, what does that tell you about Will? Yeah, he's a mess. Will's a mess for sure. And Josh can't kick Jalen out of the show's apart. No, well, no, because Josh had a house. I do recall that.
Right.
Did he had a
Mm-hmm.
house? So no, he kicked her out of his home, and he can do that for sure. I think Chad was saying what he says to production. He still, yes, he is. He is definitely rude. Um, that was clearly edited. You can see Kevin wasn't responding to it. If he actually said it, no one else responded like he was talking to Kevin. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I didn't think he was talking to Kevin, Kimberly. I
I
think
did
that's
because the way Kelvin turned his head, like, who are you talking to? But I'll
hmm.
go back and watch.
We're gonna have to,
I'll
yeah,
see.
we're gonna have to go back and watch it, because I don't think so. I don't know, but it said El Cid says Kevin would have checked him. Yeah, because that's the thing I'm thinking too. Because he's checked others for less, so I don't think he was talking to Kevin like that. I don't know, for sure. Team Will, yes, your team Will. El I don't understand you, girl. I do not understand you. Josh and Jalen just broke up August 2025. Marriages were from February 2024. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, just recently, not too long
Mhm.
ago. But so our next couple, let's talk about the lady in this picture also. Let's talk about Rhonda. Rhonda and Pat broke up. And here's the thing, they traveled a lot. They did a whole lot of traveling. And then one day he went to Europe for a month. Now he says that he invited his wife to go with him. She says she couldn't because they had taken a lot of time off to travel. And this was one trip that she couldn't take. So he went alone. And when he came back, um, he was watching or listening to an audio book out in the pool about anger, managing anger. She comes out and overhears it, and she gets upset and says, "Well, are you angry?" Which provokes a conversation. And then he says, "Yes, kind of, sort of." And then come to find out, she says, "Well, is it because we've not had hot and heavy time in the last 10 days?" And he said, "You bet your bottom dollar it is." So, what did you think about that, Kimberly?
Oh, first, let's start with the Europe thing. I thought that was awesome to spend a month in any other country. To me, is just wow. So that was great for him just to experience that or whatever. But the 10-day thing, because they were all over each other when they first met. So I was shocked to know that they're going 10 days. without doing anything. And I agree with Pat. I believe Pat is the one that said his previous wife, that was the issue they had there. And I think that was the reason for the divorce. So for Rhonda to come with the same energy, what does she expect? You can't expect the man to just stay.
Right, and that wife, that first wife, I believe they had children together. So you know he wasn't gonna stay with you when you don't have no babies with him.
Mm,
He stayed with her because
great
that was
point.
the mother. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
beginning to wonder, like, is Pat a firecracker like that? Like Pat is sounding like he gotta have it like every 5, 10 minutes. I didn't know Pat. I didn't know you had it going on like that.
Right. And why didn't Rhonda go with him at least for a week? Come on now. That was just terrible. She didn't try. Rhonda was not interested. She was being selfish on this episode, and it proves why you shouldn't date someone who's been single for what she said 25 years. It proves you shouldn't take them seriously. They should have never chosen her to be married. Not
Who,
at first
Rhonda?
sight.
Not at first sight, no. No,
Yeah.
Rhonda, we never got to, and that's another thing. This reunion, nobody really held the people that needed to be held accountable. We did not see anybody talk about, not even the experts when they were counseling Rhonda and Pat. Nobody held Rhonda accountable for the way she talked to Pat, the way she belittled him,
Mm-hmm.
the way she was condescending to him, the way
Mm-hmm.
she would blow up with him, just have these blow ups. And I kind of, now Pat on his side, I feel like at darn near 60 years old, you should have a better sense of who you are. And you should
Mm-hmm.
have boundaries set that everybody has to respect, from your parents to your wife to your coworkers to, you know,
Yes.
everybody. Like, don't talk to me like that.
Right.
So I don't know. I think Pat, was he a lover boy? I'm not sure, but I'm beginning to wonder. Maybe he needs a younger woman. Like, I mean, not to be funny, but not all postmenopausal women are gonna be just, having all that hot and heavy time like that. It just don't work like
Very
that.
true, but Rhonda just didn't make me seem that she wouldn't be willing to. I mean, jumping in the cold pool, running, skipping around the hall with your bare feet, it made it seem that she had a lot of energy and, she would be ready for whatever. I don't know. It
Hmm.
just, and I assume they were very well aware of what Pat wanted. So, yeah, that was a lot in that marriage too.
It was.
They were total opposites. Rhonda
They
was on
were.
100 all the time, and Pat was on about 20.
Yes, she was. She was always on 100. Like, she had to be felt heard and seen, and she did not feel heard and seen. And she said
Yes.
that 100 times. I think our boy Josh, he even got that from her, because he was sitting up there talking about how he didn't feel seen. I was
Yes.
like, Josh, if you don't shut up with your jumping out of a perfectly good airplane self, what is wrong with you?
Right.
What is wrong with him? Okay, but
Yeah.
last but not least, we got to get to this couple right here. Oh my gosh. What happened? Like, I feel bad
Hmm.
that she, miscarried. I really do. I feel bad.
Yes.
But I don't think Derek was wrong to what he felt, because this was another lady. She's like a younger version of Rhonda. She was always feeling ambushed. She was always screaming and yelling at him, slamming doors and closing doors, and didn't want to talk about anything. I feel so ambushed. Um, I think that he was um fortunate that he was able to get out of this without them
Hmm.
having a co-parent. And I hate to say it like that. I don't mean like I'm glad that
Right.
anything happened with the pregnancy, but I just think ultimately, like, you know, it was better that they don't have to share this child, and then they're still not married, right?
Hmm. I
But what
agree. Sad for the loss, but
yes.
what they say, dodged the bullet too, because she literally went from night to day to once she got pregnant, she was just so negative and mean. But as soon as she found out she was pregnant, it was like a switch flipped, and she was just all positive and doing the pranks and whatever. And to then the miscarriage is just interesting. Like I was like, was it really a positive pregnancy test. It just made you question a lot.
Yeah, I gotta talk about this, Elsie. You bring up a very good point too. What did you think about Derek when Kevin Frazier was asking him about is he dating, and he said yes, he's been with this woman for 7 months, and that they love each other. They say they love each other, and that also that this new woman is excited to have children. Like, where'd that come from? That didn't seem necessary.
I understand because that's what he was saying from the beginning that Megan didn't seem excited to have children. It seemed like she didn't want to get pregnant, even though we know that they were not. I mean, they were having unprotected whatever, but I could see how
Mm-mm.
it fit into the conversations that they had during the season. But just terrible timing. But that was a year and a half ago, though. So hopefully, I mean, she's still crying about it, but I don't know. Yeah.
Mm.
I could understand why he said it because that was one of the issues at the beginning of their marriage.
Yeah, yeah, because she didn't want the 3 kids. What was Derek lying about, Miss Wilson?
Probably
Um,
about his new woman.
oh, maybe he's making it up. Well, yeah, but what did
You
you
know, we
think?
can exaggerate.
We can exaggerate now. What did you think about Megan? She said she's been on a couple of dates and she felt heard and seen too. Like here we go with this heard and seen again stuff. Like,
Yep, another
girl,
jab.
listen, you Josh. Yeah, because wait a minute, but Derek heard and saw you. He had to start walking around on eggshells, so that was not good. He heard you.
Right,
You
right.
know, he heard
Yeah.
you. I don't think that these two were a good match. Um, and I think that the parents when they went to tell when you remember the scene where they went to tell her parents that they were both had conceived a child and then she was carrying a child. Her parents didn't seem that happy or excited,
Yes,
especially
yes.
her father. Her father was looking like, "What are you talking about?" You know. So I don't know that that would have been a good
I think
idea.
it's
I
because of
wish.
the joke. Hmm.
Oh, was it? Oh, you think because she tends to be a prankster? You think maybe that was the reason?
Yes, because the mom said, I know you're not pregnant. You're joking. And then she was like, oh, you're not joking. That was funny to me. I said, that's what Megan gets because she likes the joke. And now the joke was on her. She didn't get the response that she really wanted because her parents thought she was joking.
Yeah. Um, Miss Wilson says that she was talking about Derek was lying about being in love after 7 months. Do you think,
Mm.
Kimberly, that 7 months is too little bit of time to know that you're in love with someone?
I don't think so. I think my husband said it after a month, and then I didn't say it. I tried, played hardball until I checked off a few things, or it might have even been a week. I know it was less than a month that
Hmm.
he said it, and I
Okay.
mean he's been true to it now. What 3 years later? So I don't think
Ooh,
there's
hey
really a
now.
time limit on it
Yeah, I was
because what they
thinking
say,
that
love at
too.
first sight, and then
Well,
the in
yeah,
love kind of grows with the love.
yeah. Yeah, I think that I'm not so sure I'm gonna ever say I'm in love with somebody at first. I like not verbally tell them that or
Hmm.
feel that way. I think
Right.
in my strongest relationships though, there is something sometimes that clicks when you first see a person that may end up being a lifelong love, a good friend, maybe
Hmm.
even perhaps a hot
Hmm.
heavy timer or something like that. Because
Yes.
I feel like it's like these two souls meet and it's not just even just all physical, it's like something inside their eyes and your eyes, I don't know, you connect, you feel a sense of connection, right? But now how it plays out, if that's a good person,
Mhm.
if they have good habits, if you're going to even be married or in a long-term relationship, that's a whole nother thing. But I don't think 7 months is too
Yeah.
short a time. I don't think so. Oh, okay. She says it is, but everybody to each his own. Everybody is different. Um, I don't think I'm
Mhm.
going to walk down the aisle with somebody, because I feel like I'm in love with them and it's 3 months later, 6 months later, 7 months later. No, I'm not going to do that. But can I be in
Right.
love or love them? I think so. I think 7 months. Yeah, that's plenty of time. If we're spending time together, like when you really care about somebody, how you're seeing them or talking to them or video chatting with them every day because you're starting to really become involved in each other's world, what they're doing, what you're doing. I think that's very possible. I think so.
Especially if they're being consistent in their actions. Oh, I'm sold. You can talk all day long, but if you're backing up your talk with your
Yes,
actions, oh, I'm in love.
yes, yes.
I'm in
Talk
love.
about it. Talk about it. Oh, okay. What is the relationship with Derek and the new
Yeah.
lady, the Riva Diva? What was that dating site that they were on too? She said that Megan said that she saw him on this dating site.
Now
Reva.
that was funny. I
I
don't
was like,
remember. I've
ooh,
never heard of it, but I
me
was like, go,
neither.
Megan, go, girl.
And what's she doing on there? Almost like she was stalking him or something. What you do? I guess she trying to find her date, and then she looked up and saw. That has been funny. I haven't done online dating in so long, but that was
Uh-huh.
funny sometimes when I was doing online dating and you put in your filters for age and location, and then you find out it could be like a professor you had, or it could
Yes.
just be so many crazy things. And you be like, oh, I didn't know that person was out here searching for love.
Yes.
That is hilarious sometimes when
Yeah.
you do that. That is just
Mhm.
hilarious. But I want
But
to
you're
thank
right.
you.
Hmm.
I want to thank. What do you see as something? And before we close out completely, what do you see as something that will be an improvement for next season? Because we see they're coming back on Peacock next year. Looks like they're going to be in Seattle. Um,
Hmm.
and what do you think would be some improvements for this show for Married at First Sight? To I think why didn't they change out the experts this time? Like if they were going to go to a new network, it seemed like they should have started fresh with a new bunch of experts.
Mm. That's a good point. I like them sticking with the ones we know because they have the experience with everybody. And I just feel like these couples don't work because they don't want to do the work. They are just too stuck in their ways. So there's not much that can be done. Maybe more conversations and less enjoyment. But then too, you want to enjoy your marriage too. You don't just want to be sitting and talking all the time, but there has to be some kind of a way that they could dive deeper and get to the important parts and then do the work so they can stay together and make it work. Because we look at past seasons, the couples that have made it work, it was the ones who overlooked, the small things and learned to
Right.
communicate and please your partner. That's what we saw. We didn't think they were going to last. It was just
Like
willing, being willing to do the work.
Yeah, like
Oh
Brianna
yes,
and
and
Vince. I
Vincent.
never
Exactly.
thought they were gonna work. I was like, oh, they're not
Nope.
gonna make it, but they are still together, happy 2 kids later, a beautiful new home.
Exactly.
Same thing with Woody and Amani. I love them, two of my favorite
Mm-hmm.
couples.
Yep.
I, it's some people that have really worked out. What is it? Jepti and Shanice.
And we really thought they were going to end it because they went through so much. They really went through a lot. Oh, they were terrible.
Oh,
But I even noticed they said there would be more couples. I don't like that part because you can't even handle the 5 couples. Why are you adding more couples? No,
oh,
it's
they're
too
saying
much.
that the next year's season, they're saying
And
that they're
then,
going to have more couples. Is that what you heard?
yeah, I think it was Pastor Cal that said, no, was it Kevin? Somebody said it. The Mavs experience with more couples than ever because I wrote it down.
Oh, okay. Yikes, yikes.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm
we
like
even
you.
have a couple. Yeah,
Mhm.
we have a couple that has not been in a serious or long term relationship, so that's not good. I wish they wouldn't do that. I don't
Right.
think that's good for this kind of a show. So that's something they could do better. Only target people who have been in long term relationships.
Mm. Oh, you know what? I like. El Cid has a great idea about bringing Dr. Jessica back. The one who married the former maths groom. Yeah, I remember that girl. You know that. You know
Mm.
she blackballed forever. I like Dr. Viviana. I like Dr. Viviana, but I think Dr. Viviana got too real for Married at First Sight, which is why I think they ousted her. I feel like she was
Mm.
kind of pulling back uh pulling back the
Mhm.
backdrop so we could see a little bit of what really was going on.
Oh, wow. I don't remember
Mhm.
Dr. Jessica, so now I got to go look her up. I got
Yeah.
to go watch some old episodes.
Yeah, I follow her on her social media and I know the story. I went back and looked at the season, but I'm not very familiar with her either. But a lot of people did like her though.
Hmm.
And what is this last one? Miss Wilson says, I think they should use help from former married couple. Yeah, I think actually that's a great idea. Like especially the successful long term ones, like Woody and Amani. Uh,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to think of the couple that was the girl, the one lady, the young lady. She was a twin. I think she had a twin sister. They're still together. I
Mhm.
think they have a couple of kids. I think yeah, they can learn some things from the people that have been through the process,
Exactly.
you know.
Hmm.
But tell the people where they can find you, Kimberly, and what you're doing over on your channel. And thank you once again for being here. Another great season that we're wrapping up of Married at First Sight. But tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. I enjoy every season. And you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Kimberly Reviews. Thank you all for supporting. I like to talk about my travels and things related to these shows like Married at First Sight. I love dating and relationship. And I also love talking about being debt free. So that's my thing. Come check me out, y'all. I appreciate it.
Yes, definitely go check her out. Great videos on financial responsibility and financial freedom, debt freedom, and all of those good
Mhm.
things. And also her travels are awesome, guys. You got to go over and check out her shorts and her videos. And of course, she'll be back here with me, Lord willing, next season for Married at First Sight. I hope you guys
Yes.
enjoyed our recap and review. You guys, what are your plans for Thanksgiving? Are you planning on dining with family? Are you having Kimberly you and your hubby, or what kind of things are going on for Thanksgiving?
Well, this is, I think, the first year that my family, the cooks in the family, don't want to cook. So we're still trying to figure it out. But even if we don't get together or travel with the family, my husband loves cooking. So we'll do something together. I'll watch him and wash the dishes. So
Sounds
rest.
great.
I'm looking forward to resting for 2 days. Yeah,
Yeah.
happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's you guys. Is it your first Thanksgiving as married couple?
No, no, second. We got married 11
Second.
11 last year. Yeah.
Oh, 11. Okay, right before Thanksgiving. Okay, so wow.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah. How
happy
about you? You have plans?
I do. I do. I'm going to be fellowshipping with some friends and church members. We're going to be having
Nice.
dinner together, and then I'm just going to veg out on some stuff on TV and maybe something on YouTube, of course. And
Hmm.
I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited. I hope that everybody here, whether you're watching live or on the replay, I pray that you have a happy, healthy, safe Thanksgiving holiday and that you can be with someone that you love that loves you. Okay.
Yes.
All
Amen.
right. Amen. All right. Well, we're going to shake and shimmy on out of here. Guys, please like the video. Make sure you're subscribed, double check, and make sure you got your notification bell on. Okay.